adventurers, welcome to Itasca State Park, Minnesota. This is Peace Pipe Vista. Absolutely gorgeous. So Itasca State Park is a great gem in Minnesota. There's a lot of stuff to see here. It's a pretty big state park. As you can see around me, it's fall colors are really coming in, so it's absolutely gorgeous up here. The air is crisp. It's a beautiful day. A big part of Itasca is the drive around the lake, so we're gonna do that first, checking all the spots off on the list, and then we're gonna be hiking off into the wilderness for a night in the woods. So let's go. Here's our next stop, Pioneer Cemetery. Alright, here we are at the cemetery. And then there's a little plaque here that tells a little bit about it. It says it was established by a guy named William McMullen, who owned a resort here. And the cemetery was founded in 1898. There are 14 people buried here. Not a lot is known about most of them. There's a little trail here that goes around the side here. And this is Lake Itasca. Oh, and I tell you folks, I am giddy as a schoolboy to be here today. It is absolutely gorgeous. And the colors are popping. And as a plus, the park is completely empty. There is nobody here. I got this whole place to myself. The Wigman cabin, small cabin built by a family in 1977. Nice, cute little cabin, tucked away. Here we are at our next destination. Ladies and gentlemen, the headwaters of the Mississippi River. Lake Itasca just ahead of you, and right here is where the Mississippi starts. Just as a small little trickle. And then it goes 2,552 miles to the Gulf of Mexico. Absolutely gorgeous, folks. Let's go across the river. Awesome. So it takes about 90 days for a drop of water to travel from here all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. So the headwaters is there's a little trail. It's like 800 yards down to the from the parking lot to the headwaters is about 800 yards. And here's a little bridge going over the Mississippi, the mighty Mississippi. Look at how mighty it is. By the time it gets to the Twin Cities, it's quadruple its size. Cool fact about the Mississippi, it's the fastest flowing river in the country. Alright, so that was the Mississippi headwaters. Our next feature is a 10-mile scenic drive around the backside of the lake. I will try to show as much as I can. All right, here's a stop. I had actually looked at this stop and I decided not to skip this one. But now, driving through here, it's so beautiful and I just wanted to get out of the car. I decided to go ahead and stop. It's just a quick little half-mile trail that goes into that wilderness sanctuary that I just pointed out. As you can see, there is old growth forest here, which, look at some of these pines. They are just monstrous. Look at this red pine here. Oh, yeah, like it's gonna fit in the camera. Whoa. And I cannot stress how perfect today is. The sky is perfectly clear with just a couple little puffy clouds here and there for good measure. I don't even know the temperature, but it's like 75 degrees, maybe 74. Humidity's probably like 50%. It could not be a nicer day today. Alright folks, here is the end of the trail, the Bahal Trail. I mean, honestly, it actually looks like it goes out over here, but it says it's supposed to be the end. Alright, like I said, I originally planned on skipping this spot, but ultimately, I'm really glad that I decided to do it because it's only half mile in, half mile out for this. And there's a little informational thing here about black-backed woodpeckers. Little bench. Sat down for like 10 minutes. Gorgeous. I'm glad I came. But head back half mile. Go on to our next location, which I believe is the tallest white pine in Minnesota. Okay. The parking lot is just maybe 100 yards away, and there's a little interpretive trail here leading up, teaching you all about white pines and how they grow, everything you want to know about white pines, their life cycle and everything. And here we are. This is kind of a sad spot, but anyway, here we are at Minnesota's former tallest white pine. It's almost like a fantasy tree, like It's from Avatar, the Berenstain Bears. Here is a section that fell off. Holy cow. Look at some of these trees back here. Let me get up next to this one, show you guys how big that tree is. Oh, that's too bad about that white pine. But I'll find out when it broke down and I'll put that on the screen here. There was a little trail off to the side that kind of went back into the woods, and there were some enormous trees back there. But yeah, it's kind of nostalgic coming here because I remember coming here when I was a kid. And I enjoyed it a lot. That's one reason I was excited to come back here. Alright, on to our next spot. Here we are, folks. Minnesota's former tallest red pine. It's kind of sad looking now. No needles left. It was 126 feet. It was 48 feet wide, and it was 300 plus years old. Sign here says that it was in 2007. The plaque here talks a lot about the history of red pine in Minnesota. Apparently there was over 7 million acres of red pine throughout Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Today there are only about 1 million acres left, and those are all planted from back in the 1930s. So it really is sad seeing this tree dying. It's kind of like the end of an era. There are still a few big trees. I don't know if you can see behind me. There's still a few big ones left, but not quite as massive as this one. About a quarter-mile trail from the parking lot to here. So I'm gonna hike back, and then I believe our next stop is Nicollet Cabin. I'm about 3/4 of a mile in here. I'm on my way to Nicollet Cabin. Here is Nicollet Lake, but you can't see it. It's through all these bushes. A little overgrown, I guess. Total bummer. Hiked all the way out here. They didn't even have any signs or anything. But apparently they're doing work on the cabin. There's a whole crew of workmen out there, and they got trucks and everything else surrounding the whole place. So we can't really get in there. That old cabin was built in 1917. It was to house the workers, the logging workers that were out here to mark which trees to cut and which trees to not cut. Because they weren't allowed to cut all the trees. They're supposed to leave some, so someone came out here and marked the trees that they wanted to save. And while they worked on that, they got to stay in the cabin. Right next to it is Nicollet Creek, which I guess you can see right over here, off to the left, which is actually the source of the Mississippi. So we went to the Mississippi headwaters, which is kind of the touristy start of the Mississippi, but it's really, the Mississippi starts here. This Nicollet Creek flows into Lake Itasca, and then Lake Itasca, or Mississippi, flows out of Lake Itasca. So They say Nicollet Creek here is the source. There's a fire tower here, so we're gonna go check that out, and then head over into the wilderness. The loop I have picked out, it's a lollipop loop, about 8.25 miles, I think it is total. So we'll probably try to get most of it done today, maybe 6 miles, and then tomorrow we'll only have a couple miles to head out. So before I head in, I stopped. You know, these tuna salad packets with a couple pieces of bread. I got some nachos. I got nacho cheese Doritos. Bust those open. I'm gonna eat some lunch here. It's about 1 o'clock. Get nice and fueled up, and we'll head out, see that fire tower. Alright, check this out. Some swans over on the other side of the lake. Absolutely beautiful. I'm on the spur trail now. I dropped my pack back at the split because I knew I'd be coming back, so no need to carry my pack the whole way. There's another little trail over to Allen Lake. I'm not sure what the other lake was, but here's Allen Lake. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, the top of the fire tower in Itasca State Park. Absolutely gorgeous. Wow, it is gorgeous up here and scary. I'm kind of scared up here, but that's alright. I'll survive. Wow, so off in the horizon, it says that's the Continental Divide. There's some pictures up here that show Clark Lake, Allen Lake. You can see Bemidji from here. Pretty cool. All of this is Itasca. Alright, here we go. Headed back down the metal stairs. Alright, so that was the fire tower. That was pretty awesome. Now we're going to head off on the 8-mile loop. We're going to go by a couple lakes. Find a place to camp out here in the big pines. So the official name of this trail is the Deer Park Trail, and this is Deer Park Lake. Awesome. Look at that cool tree. It's wrapped around the other tree. Tree hugger. Here's McKay Lake. McKay. came tromping out of the woods and these disturbed these swans here. Sorry. There's a little short trail from here. Whoa! Crazy chipmunks. Anyway, I just came out of the woods here. It was just like a short little trail. It looks like it used to be a trail to the lake here. And when I came out, I scared these geese. And they've been honking for a while. I'm pretty sure they're trying to tell me to get the heck out of here. Alrighty folks, I went all the way around the loop. I think I might just claim this for the night. I won't bother anybody. And I will be leaving early in the morning. Early! Deer Lake is right over here. It's a pretty small campsite. There's barely enough room for one tent pad. And the water access is pretty terrible. But it's gorgeous. A couple swans swimming out there. A couple beaver homes or otter homes maybe over there. Beautiful. Dinner time. I got the chicken and mashed potatoes. It's really good. The chicken reconstitutes really well. I'm kind of surprised about that. My chores are all done. My water is filtered. I filled up on my water bottles. I cleaned up my camp, put everything away. Food is put away for the night. My dishes are clean. Today's adventure really tuckered me out. Running all over the state park, but it was just like absolutely beautiful today. It was like a perfect day. Fall colors just coming into peak. Perfect temperature. No rain. Just heavenly day. I'm gonna head to bed. Good morning, Deer Park Lake. I am all packed up, ready to go. Got my Lucky Charm cereal bars. Wake up in the morning, eat your Lucky Charm cereal. I'm gonna relax here for like 10 minutes, eat these, and we're gonna head out. The clouds ended up clearing through the night. so I could see tons of stars while I was laying in my tent. Looks like the clouds came back in this morning, but because it's pretty well overcast today. I could hear beavers out here slapping their tail in the water all night long. Almost non-stop, every couple of minutes. Slap, slap. They were loud. So were the swans. The swans were very loud. It was almost like there was some kind of battle royale between the beavers and the swans last night. But the swans were honking and flapping their wings, and the beavers were slapping their tails. Alrighty, I left no trace, and it's about 1.25 miles back to the parking lot. So the last stop was called the Old Timers Cabin and the Old Timers Trail. It was a short, like, 1/10 of a mile trail over to an old cabin, one of the old settlers' cabin. I couldn't find it anywhere. I drove around for about a half an hour trying to find it. Anyway, we'll just have to skip that one. I had a great time. There's a lot of great stuff here. I was super excited for this trip here to Itasca, and I was not let down. It was absolutely gorgeous. The fall colors coming in, the wildlife outside, the weather was great. Please subscribe and check me out next week on Happy Trail Backpacking.